Welcome back.
Yep.
Thanks so much for joining us. Ginger Lackey and Tirri Bearder here from the Mountain Home Head. It's actually not the Mountain Home Head Start program.
Actually, we're Ozark Opportunities, and we're in 6 counties. So.
Okay, good. And what do you do in this area?
In this area, we have a community action program is what our agency is. So we have our Baxter County office, and then we also have our Head Start programs that are located in Mountain Home, Norfolk, and in Cotter as well.
Now, Head Start, I would think that would be focusing on women and children, or not?
Children, 3, 4,
children,
and 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you help them do?
Actually, we're a complete preschool program, quality approved, and we serve ages 3, 4, and 5. Just helps children get them prepared for kindergarten.
Okay. So it's almost like junior kindergarten, because they come and they do their numbers and their letters. It's not like they're just playing together. So it's a structured.
It's
a structured educational environment as opposed to just
very
babysitting.
structured. Yeah, it's not just babysitting. And I think a lot of times that's what people think about preschools. They think it's just a daycare
just
facility.
Another daycare.
And how is that different? What does your program do that daycare centers don't do?
Well, one of the things Head Start does is we actually screen our children for speech developmental. They go through a complete screening process where a lot of your daycares don't. It's just they're there to play for the time that the parents leave them. So our program does that as well. It's a totally free program. That's probably the biggest selling point for our parents.
Now, is this government subsidized in some way?
We are federally funded, completely federally funded.
Came out of the Johnson administration.
Now, that's probably a good. It is a good program.
Yeah.
My grandson Marcus went through that a couple years ago, and it really worked wonders for him because at the time we noticed that when he got into Head Start, he had to communicate. He had to deal with other kids. He had to learn patience. He had to learn a lot of things that...
Had to learn and stand in line. That's a big thing, those little kids trying to get them to learn them, because they have a difficulty with that.
Yeah, and I think that did wonders for him when he went on into the regular school. Now, is there a waiting list, or what's the process of getting involved with Head Start?
Well, basically, we need parents to call us or stop by our centers and do an application. There is a screening process, so once they bring all the documents that we need, which is normally would be proof of income, we do require that, a current immunization record, and then they need to do their application. We do also have to have proof of birth, which can be a birth certificate. It can be on their immunization record. There's usually a date of birth that just verifies their child's birth date. We screen them, and at the time when we do our screening, basically it's a point system that we go off of. So first highest points comes in first.
Okay.
Now, what are the hours of the Head Start? So, because we know it's not a daycare, but it's not like you're going to take them to Head Start and have to leave work and come and get them and take them somewhere else. So it's a full day, correct?
It's 7 hours, 7 or 6 hours.
6 hours.
It's from 7:30 to 2:30.
Okay.
So.
Now, but there's no transportation or anything like that.
No.
If I worked till 4 or 5 o'clock, I would have to have my child picked up at 2:30.
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
I read it was a whole day program.
Now, is there part of the application process? I'm sure they have to have all their immunizations and all that kind of stuff. Do they have to show proof of all that too? Is that part of the application?
They bring that current immunization record, so it'll show all their shots that have been met. Now, anytime we've got a parent that perhaps for whatever reason child's gotten behind on shots, as long as they're as current as they can be, we go ahead and screen and accept that application. And then basically we work with that parent to help them stay on time, getting their next shots, and completing their shots.
Now you said it was 3, 4, and 5. So if I brought my 3-year-old in and we qualified this fall, do I have to requalify each year?
No. Once you've qualified the first year, you're guaranteed automatically eligible the second year.
Okay, that's good.
Now, in the event that you were to bring a 3-year-old, so potentially would be in a 3rd year. At the 3rd year, you would have to recertify.
Okay, but you're guaranteed at least 2 years.
Guaranteed at least 2 years, yes.
Okay, well that's good, so that people don't have to worry about that and stuff. But let's see, what else? I had another question.
I was going to ask. You serve a 6-county area. Now, do you just cater to Baxter in Marion counties, or how's that work?
No, actually, we're in Baxter, Boone, Marion, Newton, and Searcy, and as well as Van Buren County.
You only have one Head Start per county? So there's
No, we have 26 classrooms between
because I
the
started to
6
say,
counties.
really?
is there still
Yeah.
one over by the Bruno Pyatt School?
Yes, we've got one at Bruno. They're at the E. Ross.
E. Ross, and
Yeah.
then there's one in Yellville, I'm
We've got one in
assuming.
Yellville.
One in Flippin?
Flippin.
One in Valley Springs, I know that.
Valley Springs. We have 4 classrooms in Harrison, Alpena, Jasper, Western Grove, St. Joe. And then Marshall, we have 2 classrooms at Marshall. We have a classroom at Leslie, 2 classrooms at Clinton, and then a classroom at Shirley as well.
Okay, but what you didn't mention Mountain Home?
Mountain Home, we have 5 classrooms in Mountain Home.
Because there's one out by the college, and that one of the buildings there near the college.
Actually, that one is moved.
Oh, it's moved,
Yeah, that
okay.
one's moved. But we do have 5 centers here in Mountain Home. We also have one at Cotter, and then we have 2 at Norfolk.
Okay, now, why so many? Because you're limited to a certain amount of kids in a classroom?
Yes, well, part of it is our program. When we applied for the funding from the Office of Head Start, we got funding for 481 children. So we serve at least 481 children between those 26 classrooms. On a normal year, we probably serve close to 600 children.
Are there any children turned away because of space?
Usually they're put on a waiting list. If we do
Okay.
get full in the classroom, they're put on
Yeah.
a waiting list. And then as soon as we do have an opening, a child leaves or transfers out
Yeah.
or goes into a different area, then we call the next available child on our waiting list.
Now, you're out for the summer.
Yes, we are out
And
for
is there a deadline on when you need to apply for this? Should people be applying right now?
We're wanting them to apply right now.
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of people have to prepare ahead of time. When school starts back in August, where am I going to take my children?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people doing applications now. And again, we're screening weekly, so those spaces are limited. So we really want parents to get out there and encourage them to
When
do it
does your
quickly.
fall semester start?
Starts the first day of school, so August 19th.
Oh, so it runs
Okay.
with the state
We
school
run with the
calendar.
s-
So
school
you're
calendar.
out for Christmas break when they're out, and
Same.
spring break.
Same
and all.
thing.
That's kind of nice.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, snow days, ice. When we had the ice storm, we follow
So
all the same.
So basically, if the county schools are closed, then the local.
Local.
But it is a good program to get children up to speed, to be ready for kindergarten if they aren't getting, a lot of that at home and stuff like that.
Ginger, what about children that may have special needs, that may have ADHD or something like that? Can they be accepted into the program too?
Yes, what Terry talked about, they get screened.
Uh-huh.
We have the OUR, that's early, what is that called, that's coming to our screening. They come and do our screening. They do the vision, the hearing, and the speech and developmental, and if they have a problem, then they meet with the parents and discuss to do further testing, and then they come back with the parents and say we need to work with your child on certain things.
But they're not going to be turned away for that.
No.
Oh,
No,
no.
okay. It's just
no.
it's just that they know they're classified as a certain special need, and then the
then
teachers
we-
in that class will
We work with that
them
child on that,
appropriately. Okay.
in that problem.
And one of the requirements with our funding is we are required to serve at least 10% of our children. So out of our 481 funded slots, we're required to serve at least 10% with children with disabilities.
Okay.
So we really encourage any parents, doesn't matter what the disability is, we encourage those parents
That's
to
good.
do applications.
And the children learn from working with that diversity too. I mean, they realize that they're going to be, when they get older, they're going to be in a society that has a lot of diversity, and working with special needs people is part of the process.
part of life.
They're
Now,
part of life.
Is
yeah.
lunch provided by, or do they have to bring their own lunch
No,
and stuff?
snacks, lunch, breakfast, everything is
So there's
provided.
a kitchen facility along
Yeah.
with every classroom.
In some of our locations, we actually have a cook, depending on if it's our building, we actually have a cook that prepares all the meals. If we're on the school campus, we're eating the school, same lunches, breakfast at the schools fixed as well. So it is a USDA approved program on the food program. So
Good.